is the blockchain. So let me make sure I set this up for you guys. Number one, what is cryptocurrency? Number two, what is the blockchain? Number three, what is Bitcoin? In other words, what role did it play in everything that we're talking about? Because a lot of people have it misunderstood. And number four, why Troptions? Why is Troptions the king of coins? How are people buying homes and land and businesses and paying for services and buying cars and doing all kinds of things with a cryptocurrency? And why aren't you doing the same thing? That's the question. So let me answer number one. What is cryptocurrency? Well, the name of this call, or one of the things I call this call, is it's about positioning yourself for the transition of wealth. Every generation has something that in hindsight, they wish they had taken advantage of. So, but the problem is when you see it happening, you know, blessings and gifts don't always come the way you think they should. So when you saw the .com era, if you didn't understand the internet and what Amazon would become and what Facebook would become and what Google would become and what Yahoo would become and what Alibaba would become, then you didn't know that the .com industry would create so many billionaires. So guess what? You missed it and said next time. And then guess what? Next time came. Netflix came, and then Hulu came, and all these other streaming systems came, and guess what? You missed it because you kept saying next time. Guess what? The people who went from radio to television, they missed a transition of wealth. People that went from local TV stations to cable, they missed a transition of wealth. Those of us that went from cable to satellite streaming, we missed a transition of wealth. Everybody has an opportunity to take advantage of something that was happening in your generation. Oh, I missed the real estate craze. Well, guess what? After the crash of '08, you probably could have caught it again had you been prepared. I want you guys to make sure you write this down. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. A lot of you guys are about to get extremely lucky because the opportunity is here. The question becomes, are you prepared? Let me say that again. Luck, here's a success equation. Luck equals opportunity plus preparation. The question is, are you ready to get lucky? People say, man, I missed this, I missed that, I missed this, I missed that. You have to have the foresight and the vision to say, I'm not gonna miss another opportunity. If it feels right and it makes sense, go for it. So before I get into my 4 questions tonight, I want you guys to answer a rhetorical question. 2. During this call, and if you're watching me on Facebook, during this live, I just want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? And can I do it? Those are 2 questions I want you to ask yourself. Take off your skeptical hat, take off your, everybody always trying to take something from you. This is an educational call. Ask yourself, does it make sense? Now, does cryptocurrency make sense? What is cryptocurrency? In a simple 2 words, it's electronic bartering. B-A-R-T-E-R-I-N-G. That's all cryptocurrency is. It's electronic bartering. Basically, bartering was around before fiat currency. Anytime you hear fiat, that means like paper currency. The yen, the Iraqi dinar, the franc, the peso, that's called fiat. Your dollar, that's fiat. Well, fiat was invented to help 2 people, a buyer and a seller, conduct business. The problem with fiat is if someone else controls your money, they also control your life. Let me say that again. The problem with fiat is if someone else controls your money, they also control your life. In other words, if banks can continue to tell you how much you can take out today, how much you can put in today, if banks continue to tell you what your limitation is, what this fee is on your ATM, what your fee is on your monthly account, what fee comes out if you don't have a certain balance, what fee they're going to charge you to wire money overseas. If customs keeps telling you how much you can't bring back in the country without declaring it, customs keeps telling you how much you can take out the country without declaring it. The governments and banks, nothing against them, wink, wink, but they do control just about everything when it relates to your money. Here's the question. Who worked hard for the money? Now, if I work hard for my money, which I do, and I've been very, very fortunate and blessed to retire when I was only 22 years old. I'm 43. So I've been an entrepreneur working right out of my house, creating my own wealth for 20 plus years. But the problem that most people don't see is that with the challenge most people don't see, Brian, how'd you retire at 22? I took advantage of opportunities. And I found out early that if the banks and governments are taking the majority of my money, I got to figure out a way to get them out of my pockets so I can create wealth. That's what cryptocurrency does. It allows the power to come back to the people. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. You're basically shifting the power away from entities that have controlled it for so long, and people are now saying, you know what? Why don't we just barter and trade with each other? Now, what are you taking advantage of? Guys, what you're taking advantage of is the timing. You're taking advantage of the timing. See, no matter what happened 60 years ago, people used to barter, but they couldn't barter on the scale that they can now. Why? Because if I wanted to barter with somebody in California in 1960, and I lived in Miami, Florida, I got to get to California. You know, now I can hit a button on my cell phone and we can barter and exchange because cryptocurrency is electronic. Here's what I want you guys to get. What I just described was the solution to a problem. Banks charge you more money to wire money banks charge people more money to wire money overseas than the money that they're trying to send overseas. You got millions of people that live in this country that want to help their families back home. They're here in the land of plenty, and they get hit over the head big time every time they try to wire money back home. Why? Because Western Union and MoneyGram put a toll booth on the internet when it comes to money. There's a problem with that. You see, banks and government and control have forced people to find technological solutions. This is not some conspiracy theory or a bunch of people trying to revolt. This is just people saying, you know what? We can really do business with each other. You do know that technology allows us with the touch of a button to send an email, right? You do know that technology allows us with the touch of a button to send one message from here to Australia in 0.2 seconds. Then how is it that to send the same money to Australia when it's free on Gmail to send an email, why does it cost to send money over the same internet lines? The answer is simple. It's called control. See? So what cryptocurrency does, it brings the control back to the people. So let me make sure this is clear so you guys can get this. You're already involved in what's called peer-to-peer exchanges. Do you guys know, listening to me right now, you're already involved in the cryptocurrency paradigm shift. You just don't know it yet. In other words, it's happening to you now, whether you know it or not. You're just not getting paid for it. Let me prove it to you. 10 or 15 years ago, you used something called a camera, took a picture, went and took the negatives to somebody to develop, maybe 20 years ago, to somebody to develop, and that person told you to come back in a week and get your photographs, and you would get them and put them in little 5x7, 8x10 picture frames and actually get pictures developed. Now you take your cell phone, upload it to Instagram, and all of your friends can see your pictures because we share photos now using technology and social media. 10 years ago, if I had a video I wanted to show you, you would have to come over to my house. I would take my camcorder. Y'all remember camcorders? I would take my camcorder, pop in a VHS-C. I know because I still got some VHS-C tapes. You would pop it into an adapter and you got to come over to my house and watch this video I filmed 30 years ago. Now guess what you do? You upload it to YouTube and 300 million people can see your video because we share now. 30 years ago, I had a cassette tape or a vinyl record, and we would have to listen to music. And my brother was a DJ, so we would carry these huge crates to his car, and he was the DJ in the town, and I would help him load up our little hatchback Toyota Corolla and watch him go off to DJ while my back hurt because of these records. Now, for $9.99, you get 3,000 records a month. streaming through your phone. Why? Because we share now. 50 years ago, you were in a cab. 20 years ago, you were in a cab. 10 years ago, you were in a cab, also known as a taxi cab. Now you Uber. Why? Because people share now. See, 10 years ago, you were in a hotel. Today, you're in an Airbnb. Why? Because we share now. You're already caught up in the sharing phase of the world. Uber, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Music, streaming, Airbnb, all at Facebook. We share now. You know what cryptocurrency is? It's just electronic sharing. The people decide what has value, and the people decide what does not. Cryptocurrency is the people's way of saying, let's do business with each other. And if this particular coin has more value than this particular coin, more people will accept it. So Brian, why are we on this call today? Well, because I happen to be one of the individuals that was blessed enough to find a cryptocurrency that you can actually do something with. You can actually buy cars with it. How do I know? Because I purchased 5 automobiles using cryptocurrency. I sold 2 of them and got cash after using cryptocurrency to purchase them. I'll explain that later, but I want you to get this. If you think for 1 minute that people are not accepting cryptocurrency, then you're missing out on the .com industry again. You're missing out on Instagram again. You're missing out on, remember the app industry? Man, if I could have caught Angry Birds, if I could have caught Candy Crush. No, you wouldn't have, because it didn't look like Angry Birds and Candy Crush until 300 million people bought it. So you always wish you woulda, coulda, shoulda. How many times are you gonna keep wishing? Here comes the advent of the blockchain, which is question number 2. The blockchain is the technology that allows cryptocurrency exchanges to take place. The blockchain. You can actually see it in action on the internet. Millions of dollars being exchanged. I think it updates like every 10 or 12 minutes. Don't quote me on that, but you'll see it happening in real time all over the world. $2 million just went from one person to another. $300 just went from one person to another. People are doing business with each other using cryptocurrency via the blockchain. The blockchain, in a nutshell, is like a digital checkbook ledger. It says that I sent you some cryptocurrency and you sent me, I paid you for a service, right? Via the blockchain. It stamps it. You see it on your phone. I see it on my phone. Neither of us can claim that the transaction didn't happen because the blockchain records the transactions between 2 people. They can't be backdated. They're time stamped, so they cannot be duplicated. So nobody can say, I never got that, because it's housed digitally on the blockchain. Guess what? No one entity controls the blockchain. The blockchain is 500, 600,000 different computers all over the world that are networked together. So it can't be, cracked or crashed. And the minute one computer goes down, another one replaces it like automatically. So transactions continue to happen all over the world. Unlike central banking, where if somebody decided right now to hack into your checking account, boom, your money's gone and hopefully it's insured by the FDIC, right? So my point to you guys is, do you realize that, for example, on a checkbook, your name, first and last, back in the day, your social was on your check. Your signature is on your check for the endorsement. Your routing number is on your check. Your checking account number is on your check. Your phone number, address, and the teller has to write all of your driver's license information on the back of your check. And guess what? That check is handed over to a complete and total stranger with everything but your blood type on it. Everything's on your check. You know what? We didn't question that for 20 years. I didn't start questioning checks until somebody got into my account and did a fake one. I'm like, man, this was too easy. Now with printers and ink and people can make your checkbook at home, not the blockchain. The blockchain is actually safer than a check. When you guys get a minute, I want you to see Fortune 500 companies like IBM that are starting to create blockchain technology. Go to YouTube and put in IBM blockchain commercial when you get a second, and watch IBM use blockchain technology to convert plastic, cleaning up the world, right? Ecosystem, eco-friendly environment. They're using plastic to create digital currency. Go to YouTube and put in IBM blockchain and watch the 10-second, 30-second commercial. This technology is here to stay. Multimillionaires and billionaires are investing in the blockchain, like Ashton Kutcher, who is a venture capitalist who was on Shark Tank a lot of times, right? An actor, as a producer as well. Sir Richard Branson, billionaire, and heavily invested in the blockchain. Go Google blockchain technology billionaires and tell me why you, Mr. or Mrs., I've been looking for something new. I missed Angry Birds. I missed Apple. I missed Microsoft. Why aren't you heavily interested in what I'm talking about tonight? Here's the good news. If you're not paying attention, here's a good time to start, because I'm about to transition into why this matters to you. We've answered what cryptocurrency is. It's electronic bartering. We answered what the blockchain is. The blockchain is a digital ledger of transactions. It's the technology that takes your transactions back and forth all over the world. No one person controls it. Let's talk about Bitcoin, because this, unfortunately, is what most people think cryptocurrency is. You think cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are synonymous. Well, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but they're not synonymous. They're not the same thing. People say, man, I missed it. I missed it. No, you didn't miss anything. Bitcoin is simply the coin that proved about 9 years ago that people would accept digital currency. That's why you hear about Bitcoin the most. It's really a speculative coin. That means it only has value because two people, a buyer and seller, believe that it does. Well, guess what happens? When enough people believe that it does, value goes up. So millionaires were created off of this cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. Where a lot of you guys mess up is you think that Bitcoin is cryptocurrency and the only cryptocurrency. No, there's several of them. There's Ethereum, for example. There's Litecoin. There's Bitcash. There's Ripple. Here's the challenge. Most of you guys that hear the horror stories about Bitcoin and all these other coins, you hear it from a day trader. A person that bought it, tried to sell it. Bought it, looked for another one, waited on it to go up, dumped the one they had, got another one, dumped it, sold it, bought it, sold it, bought it, sold it. So after a while, those are called exchanges. They're almost called exchanges. They flatline. And then you go, man, I lost money doing that. Well, that's because you had no business getting into a day trade business when you knew nothing about day trading. That's what a lot of people did in cryptocurrency. Heard about it. John said it was new. You like and trust John. John told you about some guy that made some money. So you threw some money in it and then it went down. And you never seen anything like that before. So now you're saying this whole thing doesn't work. You could not be further from the truth. Those are speculative coins that are traded. And do people make money? Absolutely. But how many of you guys watching me or hearing me got all day to sit around and day trade and watch it go up and down? I want to introduce you guys to the king of coins, what we call affectionately the people's crypto, Troptions. Troptions actually has been around for 14 years before Bitcoin. It's actually older than Bitcoin. Troptions is a barter coin that generated about $60 million. A barter company, Troptions, generated about $60 million in the barter industry. Bartering is where you bring two companies together and they trade goods and services, and the barter company gets a percentage in the middle. Well, that was 14 years ago. So when the blockchain developed about 9 years ago, Troptions decided, guess what? We've been bartering to the tune of about 60 million. Here's this blockchain now where we can barter on the blockchain and create our own coin. So Troptions.gold, because some of you guys are going to go research Troptions, and our symbol is not Troptions. Let me say that again. Our symbol is not Troptions. It's Troptions.gold. We're backed actually by a gold claim. Troptions.gold is a larger coin or medium coin that we have. And Troptions.aus are the three coins tonight that I want to introduce you guys to before we go. Let me say this again. If you go Google the word Troptions and Troptions only, you're looking at the wrong thing. Our symbols are Troptions.gold. That's our baby coin, if you will, and I'll explain that in a second. X as in X-ray, Troptions.gold, and Troptions.aus. So you have to put the .aus, the .gold, on the end of both of them. Now, what is Troptions.aus? Well, only our coin that went from $10 to $6,000. I'm amazed by this every time I hear this. 11 or 12 months ago, it was 10 bucks. Now it's 6,000. How does that happen? Well, NASCAR and our president, Brian Stone, did a deal with companies like NASCAR, Arena Football, billionaires that own hotels, sold their hotels or a hotel for Troptions using Troptions.aus. They wanted the AUS coin instead of cash. A NASCAR team that we sponsored allowed it to be sponsored using Troptions.aus instead of cash. The billionaire sold a hotel in Missouri using Troptions.aus instead of cash. Why? Because Fortune 500 companies and billionaires understand cryptocurrency. It's the average person that's scared of it, which is why billionaires make the money they make and average people make the money they make. So that coin kicked the door in Troptions.aus. If you ever want to see the value, go to the following website. X as in X-ray, chain, like a chain around, like a necklace or a chain link fence, .io. X as in X-ray, chain, like a chain link fence, .io. Put in Troptions.aus and watch what pops up. I'm amazed at what's happened in 12 months. From $10 to 6,000. Guys, that means 12 months ago, when you were saying, I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda, if you had every $10 you invested would be 6,000 today. Can you imagine that? Well, guess what? A lot of you guys are about to imagine it because it's about to happen to you on round 2 and round 3. Okay? So people say, I missed it. No, you didn't. Because Troptions.gold is our middle coin. It's the coin that's used for trading and bartering services. My videographer accepts Troptions for payment. Those that don't know, I'm a motivational speaker. I own a training company, and everything that's filmed professionally, he takes Troptions as partial payment. My Kung Fu instructor takes Troptions. My videographer accepts Troptions. I bought, like I told you, 5 cars, sold 2 of them, bought all 5 with Troptions. Okay? My veterinarian accepts Troptions. My CPA accepts Troptions. Brian, how do you get people to accept Troptions? Easy. When they see that Troptions is a value that increases and their dollar won't even put 20 bucks won't even fill up their tank anymore, they want something that's worth more money. So as we build out our ecosystem, you now can exchange with each other using Troptions.gold. Cars, real estate, assets, businesses, services, Troptions.gold is what I use all these things for, and hundreds of Troption holders all over the country. Now the small coin we call the baby is called Troptions.gold. Now you guys that are listening to me that are not good listeners and that are distracted for whatever reason, you're gonna go look up Troptions. I want you to write this down. That is not us. That's not our symbol. Our symbol is Troptions.gold for our smaller coin. 6 months ago, when I looked at this operation, that coin was 34 cents. Today, it is knocking close to $6. That means for every 34 cents, 6 months ago that I purchased using Troptions, I now have $6 for every 34 cents. That's how I was able to turn $8,000 into $80,000 because of the appreciation and the growth that has happened between that and the inflation and the market value and everything else. It pushes the supply and demand and all these different factors push your dollars up. Guys, when I tell you it's nothing like it, and lightning just struck twice, you're sitting in the right place at the right time. So that's the coin that you buy and hold as if, and it's not a stock or a commodity, but I'll just compare it for semantics sake. If you had an Apple stock when it was 34 cents, where would you be when it hit, $69, $79, and you got it when it was 34 cents? You know where you'd be today. Well, guess what? Why? You don't have to do it in that game when you can do it in a new game or new era called cryptocurrency. So with that being said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. 5 minutes. You need to get with the person that introduced you to this call, okay? Because it's simple to do, but it's not easy if you're brand new to it. You got to set up your virtual wallet. They got to walk you through some security measures to make sure you secure your asset, purchase your Troptions. It's not something that I just spew out and a person has never heard of it, because you're gonna get lost, frustrated, and confused. But the person that puts you on this call, they can walk you through a 5-minute process or less on how to set up your wallet, fund your wallet, and then I'll show you guys some training tonight on how to increase the value of your asset. Come right back to this line and this Facebook Live if you're watching me in the next 5 minutes, and I'll show you guys some training tips. During this 5-minute break, get your wallet set up, get with the person that introduced you to this call, introduce you to this Facebook Live, and we'll show you guys how to get your wallet set up and how to get funded. Be back in 5 minutes. If you gotta go, have a good night.